Welcome, welcome. Come on in, take a seat by the hearth. Today's story continues the tale of Charles Quinn, now Lord of Frenzied Flame. He leaves the lands in between to travel into the lands of shadow, but before he can enter, the first blockage on his path is Mog, Lord of Blood, who proceeds to absolutely mog us because we forgot the tears at home. This is quickly enough rectified, but more tears are to come, both now and later. See, our spear only has 1 point. Oh, Charles the Fool. While Mog, Lord of the Tips, is blessed with 3, Mog brought a fork to a stick fight. Tip superiority along with 80% fire resistance means, like the last Mog who doused himself in sewer water, our spells simply slide off his slimy skin, the disgusting creature that he is. However, unlike Mog, a filthy omen, Charles is human. That means he's better. Too stupid and delusional to ever give up. We will poke you with our rusty stick, and you won't live to regret it. Once actually inside the lands of shadow, Charles has had enough of being the laughingstock. It's time to go Ultra Instinct. Charles sets out on a long journey across the land to collect as many skadoosh fragments as possible without touching any bosses. The route includes skipping the first bosses to get into the Skibidi Atlas. This is only occasionally broken up by the chicken out of Kung Fu Panda bodying us over a cliff. And after exhausting our dumpster diving excursion, one creature holds enough skadoosh to keep us fed for days. The hippos. Like an ivory poacher, I know what purpose I was sent here to do. As natural as the calling of the wind, these hippos must die. And surprisingly, once you get past the gaping maws, it turns out they really don't like fire. Current data shows this to be true of all hippos, but further testing is needed. After cashing in our poaching money on foreign cigarellos, it's time to fetch quest for the land's astrology girl. No house is a home without one. The hunt for skillets continues and more data is gathered. Yup, they still really don't like fire. The only creature fatter than a hippo, more dense in skittles, is a fat pig and the boar he rides. However, like a capitalist on Halloween, he does not seem very excited to share his candy. The only solution to this gross display of wealth is to take it by force. Charlie, introduces the top 1% to a lot of isopropyl alcohol, his cool bug hat, and a lighter, then takes his trickle-down Scooby snacks by force. The next gatekeeper of wealth is Jory, the Old. Trying to cast big spells against him is much like Jory's life. There just isn't enough time to do anything meaningful. So while Jory calls in the rest of the retirement home, we commit life insurance fraud, or as I like to call it, a minor amount of trolling. Inside the dreams of a Benadryl addict lie the last of the scary tree fragments before a major boss. But before we confront that boss, we cull the homeless for a glove with more eyes than most hands, and get our revenge in the Metal Gear level for enhanced damage after madness. Parry this, you fucking casual. Now at level 17 Skibidi, the first real boss is the Dancing Lion. I arm myself in the heaviest scraps I can find and walk in. However, we are disappointed to find no dancing lion, but instead 4 homosexual Chinese wizards in a lion costume. How's that for a New Year's video? What could have been an easy in and out ends up becoming a multi-death saga. As like my ex-wife, we keep trying to farm for a one-shot that never comes. Continuing Charles' streak of bullying the Omegas of the wolf pack, it turns out sunflowers also die when you set them on fire. I don't think there is a single brain synapse connection going on during this fight. We frenzy, we kill nature, then ourselves. Our ego is short-lived, as Rolana reminds me why more tips are better than one. A baker's dozen deaths has me pulling everything from the talking hand to the bottles of madness distilled from the essence of blue checkmark Twitter users. And like all of us, Rolana too succumbs to the insanity and chaos of her For You page. Another quick elderly beatdown session paves the way for a true rivalry. Midra, another lord of frenzied flame, another geriatric man with a big stick, but we are a coughing baby to his hydrogen bomb. Between the thermonuclear bomb and the laser beams, we're served a warm reminder of who's really in charge here. But unfortunately for Midra, I am a gamer, not because I have no life, but because I choose to have many. You cannot stop me, Midra. Like the leak in your ceiling, I will keep coming back. See, I can keep dying forever, Midra. You only need to die once, then your flame of frenzy is mine. After the shame of my past defeats, I try to throw myself off a cliff, only to be saved by 2 inches of water like Minecraft. Then death itself gets pissed and takes its revenge. Luckily, I remind him I'm a gamer, and he dies of secondhand cringe. Finally getting around to the Mongolian throat singing exercise as I promised the astrology girl, I then sneak under his gamer chair, duel his wife, take a break from more throat exercises, then slay his god, I think. Make sure to leave a comment telling me I'm wrong and should have watched a 9-hour video essay on how this isn't really a god. After being called the worst insult my mind can bear to muster,
mongrel intruder,
it's time to embrace Mesmer's flame. One death in each phase to get the body lubed for a real duel. A long, drawn-out, several-minute, bloody duel. A true fight of champions clashing. Finally, a worthy opponent. If the original fight didn't take 8 hours on the first attempt, this could have been a lot worse. But don't worry, more pain and suffering is yet to come. After letting Ramana grab me once, I'm snapped out of my lust-induced hypnosis and proceed to remind the big bug mommy that like hippos and sunflowers, she too is not made in God's image, and thus burns easily. For the first time this DLC, Madness procs on Nicola's fan club, making the fight a mostly non-issue, besides Lita, who needs some harder convincing she cheers for the wrong team. Then, only 2 big men remain beside me. Trying to punch Prime Radon with the tumor glove, or spray him with Madness pesticide, is unsurprisingly futile, so we'll return later. I have plans for you, Radon. I'll be back with vengeance in my heart.
Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow you will rue this day.
I've come to believe Bale the Bitch is in fact what the 8th layer of hell is like. I feel like Diavolo, dying every possible death to Bale, from Snatch to Fire to whatever this is, to cross map backblast guiding tail drifts multiple times. This truly is my dragon-shaped boulder, and I am Sisyphus, pushing and falling and pushing and falling in this crater. After dozens of hours of accepting the frenzied flame, we learn the true meaning of madness, doing the same thing over and over and over again, just praying to the 3 fingers for a better result. But I am not 99% of gamblers. I won't quit before I hit it big. 6.5 minutes of dancing with this flame retardant egoist. I teach him his lesson, the way I did with other big fiery beasts in the past. Staying as far away as possible and throwing sniper shots at their forehead. It is not our proudest moment, but our saddest is yet to come. Circling back to top off our skibbity riz to level 20, and completely respecking Charles allows us to perform a most devious lick on Radon. See, the fingerprint shield blocks 100% of physical damage and 75% holy. It also inflicts madness, so it still qualifies for this challenge. I then proceed to take my stick, which has been laughed at for being small and single-pronged all day, and block and stab until the fight is over. This truly is 3 IQ gameplay. But to fight a god, you must stoop to the god's level. Is what you see fair? No. Do I care? The Lord of Frenzied Flame knows not fair. Like my ancestors speak of pre-nerf Festival Radon, this fight was before they neutered every ability from being a multi-proc flashbang. To win, you must play unfair. What a lovely message to end this journey on. Like this video if you want me to bash my head into more steamrollers, and subscribe for more stories to come. Take care out there.